Good morning, everyone. My name is Sun Yi, and I'm a Term 4 Architecture and Sustainable Design Pillar student. I will be your MC for today. Welcome to the SUTD Open House, a hybrid physical and digital event. We welcome any questions you might have for our president, employers, and alumni. For online participants, please type your questions into the Q&A box on your screens. Participants here in the auditorium may use the mics along the aisles to ask any questions you might have.
Hi, I'm Professor Chong Tow Chong, President of the Singapore University of Technology and Design, otherwise known as SUTD. I will be answering your questions about SUTD. As our tagline goes, SUTD is known for a better world by design. Our design-centric, interdisciplinary hands-on curriculum nurtures students to create powerful, human-centered solutions. And it prepares them to become the future generation of industry-ready design innovators. Design is many things to different people. At SUTD, design is the creation of human-centered solutions. Now, what sort of solutions? It can be solutions to everyday challenges that make life easier, like adding wheels to your luggage to create the modern four-wheel suitcase, or solutions to global issues such as sustainability, in which electric vehicles that emit less carbon dioxide are created for greener cities. So think of our curriculum as a dish, and design is the main ingredient. Our SUTD curriculum focuses on design innovation, powered by technology, teaching you how to develop solutions right from day one. The next ingredient that goes into our curriculum is interdisciplinarity. That's a big word, but what does it really mean? Now, being interdisciplinary is not simply taking courses or modules from two or more disciplines. Instead, interdisciplinary means understanding how the different topics work together in application across the entire curriculum. That's how a curriculum is truly interdisciplinary. SUTD is a pioneer of interdisciplinary education, as it is the basis of how SUTD was established from day one. By understanding how to integrate disciplines, SUTD students are well equipped to solve complex real-world issues. Because more often than not, solving a problem does not require expertise from only one discipline. It is being able to see it from different perspectives and then creatively integrate and apply learnings from various disciplines to develop multifaceted solutions. Our final ingredient is hands-on and active learning. Again, what does that mean? Instead of lecture-based classes, our students do their learning beforehand and then spend classroom time applying and exploring those concepts they have pre-read. This nurtures and hones their critical thinking skills. At SUTD, our students learn how to learn. Learning is not just downloading information. It is open-ended. Being hands-on simulates immersive real-world situations, where students are required to produce a working prototype as a tangible output from their courses. This is also what makes them industry-ready and highly sought after by employers. Every student has quick and easy access to our state-of-the-art maker spaces like the fabrication lab. They will experience the entire process from concept development to ideation to programming, prototyping, and testing. This unique design and maker-based philosophy has inspired many successful alumni entrepreneurs like Ken Chua and Cristabella Arando, who started these abilities. The dual design inclusive bottle packaging for the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics and work with Grab to simplify the ride-hailing process for hearing and visually impaired users. One, SUTD is ranked first on MIT's list of emerging engineering schools. Two, 40% of SUTD students are female. Three, SUTD has a very collaborative culture. All our students stay in hostel during their first 2 terms, even some professors. Our students also study in small cohort classes so they forge a close-knit culture from day one. 4. SUTD equips all students with a solid foundation in digital competencies. We have digital-based courses in all terms for all degrees. Students can select courses from a wide range of topics, be it in-depth or application-based. And 5. SUTD does not have indicative grade profiles because we have a holistic assessment of all our students. So we mean it when we say grades are not the be-all and end-all.
Now, please put your hands together to welcome our President, Professor Chong Tow Chong, who will be chairing this panel session to answer all your questions about SUTD's undergraduate program. With him today are our top employers from Accenture, Mr. Dwight Hutchins, and from GovTech, Ms. Evangeline Chua. Joining them also is our very own SUTD alumni, Ms. Pek Yun Ning.
Okay, a very good morning to everyone and welcome to our SUTD Open House 2022. Now, this is a hybrid event and I think we are very excited that we can bring some of you here physically to interact with us. And we have also another 650 attendees remotely joining us. So we are happy to welcome all of you. Now, I hope the video you have just seen has given you an idea what makes SUTD distinctive and also the reason why we think you should choose SUTD and join us. Now, I would like to summarize some of the key points mentioned in the video, maybe in this slide. So allow me maybe just to go through very quickly again some of the points. So number one, we have graduated 7 batches of SUTD students, and consistently our graduates are employers' top choice. Maybe later on you can ask some of our panelists here. Now, despite the pandemic, the class of 2020 have achieved 96% overall employment rate. I think this is among the highest of all the universities in Singapore. Now, second, SUTD is the world's top emerging engineering school in a recent report commissioned by MIT. And I think we are very proud of this achievement, even though we are very young universities. Number 3, 24% of SUTD faculty are listed among the world's top 2% of scientists. Now, this reflects something we say in SUTD, we say Q, not Q, meaning quality and not quantity. 4, from day one when we establish a university, we break down silos, so we don't have departments or what, we have pillars, and we bring together interdisciplinary learning into the curriculum so that our students can be nurtured to be a technically grounded leaders and innovators. And I think this will enable a student to be able to integrate ideas across discipline, and that's so important for today's problem solving. Number 5, our way of learning in SUTD is we call hands-on and also collaborative and active learning experience. Now, we can achieve this because we have the smallest student to faculty ratio among all the universities here. Now, We also make sure that we equip our students with digital competencies as a foundation. That means it's not just 1 or 2 courses, as a foundation across all years of our students' learning. And I think this will make our students be ahead of the digital economy that they are going to enter into in their future jobs. 7, I think this is an important one. 100% of students, actually from day 1 when they join SUTD, get the chance to do research. We have a program called Undergraduates Research Opportunity Program that open up to all students to participate. And our students also will go on to do at least 1 internship, in fact, this is compulsory, and also 1 overseas exposure. I think this is important to nurture and also build up a good world perspective, global perspective, which is important for our future graduates. Number 8 is quite unique here in SUTD. We set aside time and space for students to pursue their passion. And how do we do that, right? So every Wednesday and Friday afternoon, we have no class for the entire university. And students use this time basically to pursue their interests, build confidence, get out of their comfort zone. Number 9, I think this is what we do mean by, education is not the end, but it's a means to an end, that is to translate what we do to impact the real world. So in SUTD, I'm very proud that our faculty and students have been making significant impact after they graduate or translating their research into the real world. In fact, SUTD, as you can see from this slide here, is the world #1 in reconfigurable robots. Now, if you see some cleaning robots in the shopping mall or in Changi Airport, most likely they are made in SUTD. And we also have alumni working in GovTech, and she was one of the team that developed, I think we are now all familiar with, the Trace Together apps, which we use daily. And I think this is something that we feel very proud of her achievement. Now, last but not least, in my video, I talk about the profile of SUTD students. We have 40% SUTD students who are female. When you think about engineering school, you will think about, they are mainly dominated by male students. But in SUTD, we are not, because we are not a traditional engineering school. We focus on design-centric product design, system design, information service design, and also built environment design. So I hope the female students here don't get worried. You have plenty of girls here in SUTD. And also the boys, why not have more girls surrounding you? Okay, so with that, I would like to move on to our main event for this panel discussions. Okay, yeah. So I'm very happy to have our distinguished panelists here. So we have Miss Evangeline Chua, who is the Chief People Officer from GovTech. And we have Mr. Dwight Hutchins from Accenture, who is the APAC Managing Director. And of course, we have our very own graduate, Miss Pek Yun Ning, Chairman, CEO, and founder. Big name, good. Yeah, as your HGP Foods. So she was the alumni of SUTD class of 2019. Okay, so maybe let me just kick off this panel discussion. Perhaps while question coming in from the audience here, maybe just let me kick off a few questions here. First, maybe like to ask both Evangeline and also Dwight about what your company are looking for in terms of the skills and quality of your new staff, and maybe, therefore, what sort of career opportunity in your respective industry. So maybe I can invite Evangeline to start first. Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, you can hear me. All right, so I think GovTech doesn't require much intro because I think all of you are subscribers of our products and services as citizens of Singapore. GovTech is actually the technology implementing agency for the Smart Nation. And as per what Prof has just mentioned, the lady that he said, right, who has actually a part of our team in developing safe entry, trace together and all that is Janice Tan. Janice is actually one of the pioneer, I don't know, I can't remember, second or third batch in SUTD. And she joined GovTech from day one, and her career has progressed pretty fast within GovTech. She is one of our team lead now. And what I admire about SUTD students is, in fact, I'm a fan of SUTD students, primarily because when I was back then in City, which was about 8 years ago, I recall we actually hired people like Hui, Joshua Cheong, into our technology associate program in City itself, and they are still there, doing very well as well. When I joined GovTech in 2016, we only hired one intern from SUTD, and I was actually quite shocked by the figure. As of now, we have actually increased the intake quite significantly, primarily because of passion. I realized that the students of SUTD possess that passion in what they do. And to us, it's very important because I feel that passion drives performance, and that itself is a key differentiator between, someone who do it as a job and someone who's passionate about doing it, and delivering tech for public good. So passion is one. The other one is really the multidisciplinary that Prof has mentioned so many times. In fact, for GovTech, we also emphasize on developing our people in multidisciplinary domains. When we look at our whole competency framework, for example, a software engineer, we do not prototype a software engineer into fixed core competencies. In fact, we allow flexibility in the competencies, how we develop our engineers. For example, like front end, back end, mobile, data engineering and all that. So we encourage our engineers to be multifaceted, multidisciplinary, which if it's very much in line with how SUTD is developing its student. So I'll hand it over to Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwight, please. Yeah.
Fantastic. It's a pleasure being here again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dwight Hutchins from Accenture, and as I said earlier, Prof, it's important for us to be here because SUTD is an important feeder school for us.
Okay.
I looked at the latest stats, and we've hired 50 of your graduates in just over the last few years, and that number just keeps going up class by class by class. And the reason we keep coming back is because we keep having success. Okay. The students, the graduates that you produce fit right into our high-performing culture and are very client-centric and very project-based and able to work in teams. So our work is to respond to Ms. Evangeline and her organization's demands for our services, which are a high standard, complex, and fast-moving. And so we've got to put together teams from across all of our disciplines and be able to get them to work together. And what's beautiful now is that we're able to hire into our different disciplines. I mean, we've got health and public service that's focused on, for instance, hospitals, and I think we're doing some work with the billing systems here and the patient records. So we got SUTD students graduates over there, like Kimberly Chipo, who's one of our consultants helping to lead that. And then on the other end, we've got SUTD students, such as Sudas, that just graduated and is in our advanced analytics group. And he's doing data lake work and doing data engineering and pulling in data from all sorts of places in order to power Skills Future. And so we're able to put your graduates across our business and work in different disciplines and then bring them back together to deliver very important projects. And in addition to being able to work with our partners at Singapore government, of course, we're working with a lot of the major corporations around the region as well as around the country. So being able to have flexible students or graduates, if you will, who can work in teams and help to not only solve problems, but figure out what problems need to be solved is one of the reasons why we keep coming back.
Good, thank you very much. Maybe I switch to asking our own graduate here, Yun Ning. Maybe you can tell us how SUTD educational experience you have gained that actually prepare you for being an entrepreneur. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Certainly. So actually, I can only be very thankful for the education experience I have here at SUTD. In fact, it was through this journey in the school that I realized that entrepreneurship will be a good fit for me, would be something that I enjoy. And it was just into my second year of university that I realized that, right? So how did I discover this passion? I suppose it was a journey. It started from firstly, I think the curriculum really helps us to ignite curiosity, right? Because what happens is that the classes are very varied, very broad, and we get exposed to a variety of topics and subjects. Besides that, as we mentioned, the culture of the school is very collaborative. The professors are very approachable, and the classmates are also willing to help each other with various things. So one thing definitely is that academic-wise, not is it just fun, it also helps you to ask questions, ask why is this a certain way, can this certain process or product be made better, right? So that's what I mean by curiosity. And apart from that, we actually have sufficient time out of the curriculum as well. So as mentioned just now, Wednesdays and Fridays, we have more time to explore our own passions and interests. And that helps you to understand yourself as a person better, understand what your strengths are better, understand what your skills are better, and that can help you to, let's say if you realize that this is your strength, you can start focusing more on it. At the same time, when you have more time, you also are able to expose yourself to newer experiences. And only through trying, then you will know whether you are really good at something or whether you really like something. So that's the first part of my journey. That was just in my first and second year. And subsequently, in the pillar years, you get to embark on more projects. And because the classes are quite diverse, so which means that the projects that you embark on will be quite diverse as well. So then in terms of skills-wise or your interest within the pillar, you also get to understand, okay, this part of, maybe if you talk about this part of information systems, I like better, or maybe that part of product development, I like better, then you will know how to focus and direct your future and your career better as well. Apart from that, we have entrepreneurship class, within the curriculum also that students can opt for. And there are special programs such as the STEP program that I was part of as well. So that's a combined master's or bachelor's program that allows you to spend time in Silicon Valley and in China as well.
Good, thank you. I think you participate in the STEP program.
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, this STEP program is interesting. We send students overseas for 1 year, and they go to 2 countries, one in US. Today we have the collaboration with UC Berkeley. So that was in the spring term. And in the summer, you go to the Silicon Valley, right, for your work in so-called like internship. And then later on, you don't come back, you go to our partner in China, Zhejiang, or other university. Yeah, correct. So maybe I'll come back to ask you about your experience there. But I thought it's important that we hear from our industry employers here. And we all know that we are entering into, we call the post-pandemic era now. And I guess we call this new normal or what. Everything is not going to be the same as before. And with that kind of uncertainties and all these challenges, right? I think when you look at university students or our curriculum, what will you so-called think of the most important thing that university must focus on in order to prepare the student, to be able to, go on to this very new environment? Yeah. please. Maybe I guess do I have to go first? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said it in your opening remarks. The most important thing is to learn how to learn.
Yeah.
Because things are moving so fast that you don't know what you need to know, but you need to find out, and you need to master it quickly, and be able to interact with others. And again, the team-based approach is just so critical. So many people. One of the things that we find is that there's lots of smart people out there, lots of well-educated folks, but there's a lot of folks who are individual contributors. They prefer to work alone in their own silo, and that just doesn't work anymore. I mean, you have to be able to work across. You have to be able to reach out through Zoom or Teams. And be able to collaborate with someone you've never met before. I mean, that's increasingly important. And if you don't have those collaboration skills, it doesn't matter how smart you are. And so the fact that you put your students into challenging project-based environments, again, it's a 4-year training program for what we do. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
From my perspective is I totally agree with what Dwayne has mentioned. I think, right now, I'm sure all your learnings are through hybrid arrangement as well. So that sets you up for success when you move to, when you actually took on a role in an organization. However, what will differentiate you from the others is really your personal branding. When you join an organization in such an environment where we are all working remotely, sometimes you do not put a face to the name. A name is a name to you. You don't know X from Y from Z. And so what is really important is how you establish yourself how you differentiate yourself from the rest, right? So some of the examples that Dwayne has mentioned, for example, like even in GovTech, our value is ABC, which is agile, bold, and collaborative. And we all believe in the technology world is a network economy. It's no longer you're the smartest and therefore you can work so independently to develop your own product and all that. We believe that you should build your own network and the network will eventually help you to succeed, in your career and as an individual. So build your personal brand, make sure that you are visible, not by shouting out loud, like every single call you have to say something for the sake of saying, but contribute, do not fear, contribute as much as you have, because I believe that all of us have ideas in terms of how we solve problems. And so do not fear to speak up because you feel that you're a freshie or, you're new to the industry. Be bold, speak up, and put your point across.
Good, thank you. Yeah. Now, maybe go back to Yun Ning. Can you share some of this overseas experience? Yeah, what do you learn? And what do you think about we sending students not just to one country, but to the West and also to the East? Yeah. Can you maybe share your experience?
Yeah, I would say the overseas exposure is really critical. And I think Prof Chong rightly pointed out that having this exposure to both the East and the West is really crucial. And taking this example, it is really to develop the ability to have empathy for people of different cultures. And you don't even need to go overseas to know that this is important, because even within our society, there are people of different demographics and people with life experiences completely different from yourself. And then if that's the case, how do you effectively collaborate with them and work together with them, which are very critical skills in today's world. So I feel what I really developed the most from this overseas exposure is really the empathy for different cultures and different people. At the same time, going overseas also helps you get exposed to new ideas and new ways of doing things. So then, you learn from the people over there. And then when you come back, you realize that, okay, I realize that there's a better way of doing a certain thing in Singapore. Or, hey, actually, it looks very clear that, just a small tweak here, we can make a big difference to the way it's impacting the product or solution. So that's where I think in terms of the soft skills, why it's very important to have this overseas exposure, in which SUTD offers plenty of opportunities for this to happen, regardless of which pillar you choose or what you choose to study. So for myself, I got to spend time in the US and China. In US, I spent time in UC Berkeley, MIT, and in China, I spent time in Zhejiang University.
Okay, good, thank you. Yeah, there's a question I think relevant to what we are talking about here from the audience. I think this is in my iPad here. It's from someone called RC. Now, how are freshman classes conducted to cater to both students who have background in the subject and for those who have not? So this is a very important question here. I think we heard about a lot of things about working together. Now in SUTD, as I mentioned, we don't use a big lecture theater like this to teach. So we have a smaller so-called cohort classroom. That's what we make it reconfigurable, the table and chairs. And we have so-called integrated almost like lectures, tutorials, lab in one session. It could be maybe 1.5 hour long or maybe 2 hours, depend on the subject. Now what this is, why this is so important, right? I think you're right, we have students from different backgrounds, in fact, JC, Poly, and also international students. But with this kind of setup, right, I think we encourage them to work together. And when there's a project, there's a design project, they work together. So we see a strong peer-to-peer learning among the students. So if we see that maybe the Poly students are very good in certain hands-on stuff, and the JC student can learn from them. But at the same time, if there's a more maybe theoretical type of things, the Poly student can learn from our students, our JC students. So I think we see this strong peer-to-peer learning. Then you ask me why they want to help each other. Very simple, because in SUTD, we don't really talk about a bell curve in our grading. We allow students, to have, if they do well, we can have a large percentage that is high score and so on. But of course, our faculty are also very clever in setting questions that it would be able to distinguish the good and the bad. But that is, I think, a very important thing. And I think with that, we so-called nurture the kind of collaborative spirit, and then they help each other. I know that when we do design project, maybe Yun Ning can say a bit more. Sometimes it go all the way to late, and when one group finish, the other group, sometimes I see they help the other team as well. So that kind of, I would say, peer-to-peer learning and build that kind of community is very important. Maybe Yun Ning, you want to share some of this? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I would just like to add on that related to what the fellow panelists have been saying. I myself am an employer also, and in fact, yesterday I was just telling one of my colleagues that collaboration is really important, and try to help her understand why to perform more effectively at the workplace. And last night I was just telling my brother. So my brother is in the same position as a lot of you over here. He's going to complete his NS this year. So he's thinking about what university to join or what to apply for, basically. I also gave him advice, when you go for interviews, try not to, talk about experiences or things that a lot of other people will say. Think about what will make you unique, or what part of the organization you really like that is different from what many other people will say. So just some of the things that came to mind. To the topic of the cohort-based learning and a very supportive culture in the school, I think it's really true, because a lot of my classmates in SUTD, they studied various things in their JCs or polys before that. And not everyone is good at everything, right? Even the smartest people will also have their shortfalls in certain area, and they will also have the humility and kind of the courage to approach others to ask for help, when they need it. So if even the So that just shows that basically everyone in the school kind of just help each other with things, and that foster the culture of like working together, and even when like students have ideas, or let's say spontaneously, there's quite a lot of students in the batch that wants to go for like night cycling, for example. When I was in school, I organized a night cycling activity for the whole batch. So it's actually this also shows that you have the ability to chart your own path and to start new things and new activities in the school as well.
Yeah, good, thank you. Now, relating to this about interview and so on, so in SUTD, when we select students, we don't just look at the grades and so, actually we interview every shortlisted student. And during the interview, like what Yun Ning said, like, we are not keen to hear how great you are in your grades, but rather ask you to tell us how extraordinary you are, what you do and so on. But maybe I can ask Dwight and also Evangeline that when you interview so-called recruits that you want to hire, what are the things that you look for? Yeah, of course, I hope you don't just look at the GPA. Yeah, please, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we don't just look at GPA. I mean, much to contrary to many popular belief, right? But that public sector typically look at academic results. We don't. I think it's really the personality that really matters to us. As per what I've shared earlier, our value system is ABC, agile, bold, and collaborative. And from what I've seen in the video, from what I've heard from Prof, the education system in SUTD fits very well into what GovTech is looking for, for a GovTechie. So, in fact, we have actually hired the most number of technology associates from SUTD students. So don't tell the other university. So SUTD, like what Dwayne has mentioned, is actually a feeder to our technology associates program, primarily because it's multidisciplinary. The personality of the graduates that they develop, even, as I was listening to Yun Ning, and I interacted with many SUTD students, it's how she is. Like the Janice Tan is how Yun Ning is behaving, and how she speaks is very grounded, very practical, and very measured in terms of how they present themselves and so forth. So minus the technical skills, which I think is a given, the rest is really personality. Yeah, that makes a difference.
Couldn't have said it better. And in fact, a couple of things that strike me, even with the question, is, it worries me that person thinks they're smarter than the other people, right? And that's going to be a red flag, because if you are, that's an opportunity to teach, right? Not to show off, right? And that's what I would be looking for is, are you leveraging your expertise to help the team more, not to demonstrate that you're better than everyone else? So you demonstrate you're better than everyone else by lifting everyone else up versus standing out. And so that's one of the things that, again, we love here, is that it is about, you have to learn that you don't succeed in a group project by standing out alone while everyone else fails. You have to figure out how to help everyone be successful. And that is a skill and an attitude and a perspective that you can't fake, right? I mean, you either learn it or, people learn that you're not a team player, and then you get left out of the team. And so, again, the 4-year exercise here is a great training ground, because it's uncomfortable, especially, I know how hard everyone has worked to get here with grades. I mean, you're competing to be the top of the class. You're competing for the A. You're competing. And so you've been drilled with that since, since you can remember. And so it takes a different perspective to go from I'm competing against you to we've got to work together to both succeed. I guess one last piece on the on the exchange program, we actually have a manager named Mitch who was one of the early batches in the other direction. So he was doing his master's at MIT, and he was attracted to SUTD, and he's never left.
Okay.
Right? So he came here to get his second master's. He interned at Redmart, went on to work with Redmart, went to a couple of other startups, and now he's at Accenture. But he said, I started there. Wasn't expecting to do it, but I got attracted by what SUTD had to offer, and he's never left.
Good to know that, yeah. Yeah, I think this is something that we really invest a lot in building that kind of skill and attitude beyond book knowledge in SUTD. I mentioned that we have this free time, every Wednesday afternoon, Friday afternoon. We return 1 day per week to our students, basically to pursue their passion, to develop their maybe leadership skill, and also get out of the comfort zone. I think that's most important, and not afraid to try new things, have that teamwork and so on. Now, there are quite a lot of questions coming in, so maybe I should look at some of these questions. Now, there are a lot of questions related to admission criteria and so on. As for some ask, do you look at O-level result also, not just A-level? I'm an ITE graduate, do I have opportunity to enter SUTD? And then the poly student also, maybe poly student ask, if my GPA is in this level, can I enter? So these are all very, I would say, important questions for all the students because you are thinking about the kind of admission criteria. Now, maybe I just sum up to tell you that SUTD, in my video, the last part I said we don't really have any grade profile in our admission. That means I don't say that you must be, between the 90 percentile and 10 percentile, what should be your grade and come in. That's because this is not the way we select students. We adopted the MIT approach. I told you have to write essay, we interview you, and we look at all these, characters that we believe it can suit our SUTD things. So let's say if you are not good in certain subject, we think is important, like for example, mathematics. If you're A-level, we'll look at your O-level, of course. And the O-level, we look at it. And if we are still not so-called convinced that you can cope, what we do is we actually encourage you to even take the SAT, for example, and then to show us that you have that so-called proficiency to come in, and we will admit you. So that is quite holistic. And I tell you, we have students who come from the IT route and enter SUTD. There's no issue because it's holistic here. And the question also asks, what's the chance of female students coming here? We have no discrimination. In fact, I hope we can go more than 40% of female students in SUTD. So we just need to make sure that the female students in the pipeline have more who like more STEM education in Singapore. So that's a challenge that I think not SUTD facing, but also I would say the Singapore as a whole. Now, I also understand that there are audience here who may have questions for our panel or myself. Please come forward if you have any questions. There's a mic along the aisle here. You can ask questions if you have any. Yeah, let me open the floor to the audience here. I think you came all the way here. I hope to give you the opportunity to ask. Yeah, anyone? Yes. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm Murli. A question for Yun Ning. See, what I understand here from Singapore, it is not agriculture-based, but then how did SUTD help you to kind of create a venture in the area, which is corely focused on agriculture and food processing? How did SUTD help you in your course to get exposed to that area and help you also get deeper in that area? Thank you.
So I believe for this, it's because the curriculum helps us to empathize and really try to understand what are for example, the most pressing problems that humanity face. So for example, what we know that the world is facing a lot right now are issues related to food security, as well as climate change, right? And this is what sustainability is all about, which is the core of my business, sustainability enabled by technology. So essentially, when we develop products and solutions, we do it because we want to solve problems, because we want to solve pain points, right? Because only when we do so, then we will know that, okay, this what I'm doing, what I'm putting my time into will really help people. There will be demand for our products and our solutions. So yeah, I suppose it's this, exposure to different experiences and this ability to identify and understand problems effectively that, helps us to start thinking about, okay, what are the steps I need to develop solutions for this particular problem that I want to solve? So for me, the one that I identified and I feel passionate about because it helps people, helps humanity, is in the area of food security and climate change. It could be the same for some of you, but there are many, many things in the world, we can try to help with, and that's why it could be different for a lot of you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I think this question may be also related to, whether, the students have the experience to go deeper, right, in their expertise. Now, there's a question actually asked, if I'm interested in research, what can SUTD offer me? So I hope to answer this question because it's important. SUTD is a research-intensive university, like NUS NTU. We are a research-intensive university. And we have this so-called SHARP program. Later on, you can hear about it. We have this special program, which is to cater for students who are interested to do research. And we actually give them more opportunity in terms of the curriculum. Maybe they study a bit more deeper, and so on. So my view is that for university education, we can no longer have the one-size-fits-all type of approach. So we want to make it more customized, more personalized, that we know maybe you're interested in this and that. So we allow students to have self-directed approach to what they want to do. So in terms of research, actually we are very deep. That's why you see we have 24% of faculty actually in the top 2% in the world in the scientist list. And I think you can look at what they do and quite deep in terms from physics, chemistry, all the way to engineering, architecture, and so on, and IT, of course, AI, and so on. Yeah. So I'm mindful of time because we have to be very punctual. We have the so-called audience here. So maybe let me quickly maybe conclude this session here by coming back to the panel here. Maybe a closing question to all of you here is that now these are the young students wanted to enter university. So I think, what advice do you have for students when they come to choosing university? Maybe, or what sort of advice you have for them? I think they like to hear from you. Maybe I can start with Evangeline.
Sure. Yeah. I think first and foremost is really the domain that you wish to develop, and you must be passionate about it. To me, I keep emphasizing about passion primarily because that's the only factor that will make you successful, in whatever you do. And a lot of people choose ICT primarily because, now we're just sharing some of the media, right, on the starting salary of graduates from ICT and so forth, right? And it's like a stock market. It's really driving, the market is really crazy, right? Everybody is trying to have a piece of that. And it's very well paid right now, but don't go in because of the money. Because picking the right course is absolutely necessary, and you must know where your interest lies. I think that's one. And secondly, it's if you want anything that is practical, I think SUTD, to what Prof has actually said, and Yun Ning has actually testified, right, is a university that offers you that. the practicality and the hands-on experience that you will get from the campus. And last but not least is really how the university developed you as a person. So to me, that is very, very important, because if I look at the university education, right, between SMU, SUTD, NUS, NTU, they all develop different profiles. It's almost like RI develops a different value system, ACS develops different value system, in an individual. So pick the right school that can relate best to your personality and the course that you want. Thanks.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. Yeah, Dwight, you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Pek Yun Ning, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I personally believe that learning is a lifelong journey, right? And actually the audience over here probably can relate to it as well. So then the question is, in this phase of your life, which path you would choose to take would be the most suitable for you in terms of reaching your long-term goals? For some people, it will be very clear, and then for most of us, we take it as a journey to try to explore, to embark on new things, for us to really understand, is this something I want to do for the rest of my life or for the next phase of my life. So I guess don't just think of university as I'm here to study. Definitely not the case, right? You can also hear from the employers now that they look for many, many other things beyond academics. So it would be helpful to think about what are the few things you want to achieve in university. What do you want to hone in terms of your skills, be it soft skills or hard skills, and then choose the university that's the best fit for you. I would say in this school, you have a lot of bandwidth to explore various things, and you have a lot of ability to chart your own path. So if you are someone who wants to explore, try new things, and yet at the same time have a technologically grounded curriculum, I think this is a very suitable school for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
An important thing that hasn't been said is listen to your parents. No, just kidding. Okay, I'm sorry. My daughter's graduating high school and she's looking at colleges now. And so actually listen to your heart and follow your passion. You're going to be looking at great schools. The question is, it is a great school for you. And only you can determine that. Now, obviously, take in some factors from your parents and others to give you additional perspectives, but it has to speak to you, right? Because it's going to be a lot of work. And the only way you're going to get through that work is because you want to get through that work. You want to spend the Friday night, you want to spend the Saturday night working on this because it's something that you love to do. And that's going to take you through your career as well. So you're going to be, again, looking at great schools, you're going to be looking at great education. Yes, technology is going through the roof, but even that won't sustain you if it isn't something that aligns to your passions and your interests. And who you want to become. So you don't have to know the answers to all those questions, but you got to feel comfortable that you're on the right path. And listen to your parents. I'm sorry.
Good, thank you. Yeah, I like the thing, follow your heart is important. Now we're coming to the end of this, so let me just have one final words here. I know you are in a very important moment of your life to embark on university educations. But if you want to, like what our panelists say, if you want to pursue your passion, your dreams, and be equipped with, we call the future-ready skills, and also be able to empower you to chart your way forward, then I think SUTD is the right place for you to join, and you will be able to fulfill your aspiration. And together, we can build a better world by design. So I encourage you to dream big and think far, because the future is yours to create. And we are here, SUTD will walk this journey together with you. So thank you very much for the panel. Yeah.